Burning Lands Vietnam is an upcoming tactical combined arms game set during the Vietnam War and is being created by 0 Hour Interactive, the studio that brought you the highly acclaimed Aussie Mod and Squad. We're about to dive in and take a look at everything that has been released on the title up to this point. So grab some coffee and let's take a look at this trailer released last year before we go into more details. Zero Hour Interactive is a development team that consists of approximately 20 dedicated individuals, all of whom are working on this project on a volunteer basis, without receiving any compensation at this time. Burning Lands is a tactical war game that emphasizes teamwork and coordination among players. The game features positional VoIP and special features that help players share situational awareness to increase cooperation. The 60-player teams are divided into squads, with each squad specializing in infantry, logistics, or armor. The commander of each team is responsible for coordinating squad efforts and distributing resources in a way that best serves the team's objectives. Directly below the commander are the squad leaders. These battlefield leaders will each control unique abilities and will need to work in unison with their counterparts and support each other if victory is going to be achieved. Executing the fight for leadership are the sustainment and specialist roles, varying from kits with situational importance and abilities to those who live up to their name and do the heavy lifting once the action kicks off. Players within each squad will be broken down into squad leader, medic, radio man, machine gunner, and anti-tank specialist. Each role contributes to the squad's overall goal and resource preservation, which is critical to the team's success. Over the coming months, the importance of some of the more specialized roles will be revealed and the unique tide-turning abilities they bring. The gameplay has been self-described by developers as a mixture of both Squad and Hell Let Loose in terms of scale, team and role setups, communication, and teamwork. With that said, they are attempting to do their own thing and not copy-paste what's been done before in a different theater of war. In terms of location, the game will be made up of a combination of maps from the US Army during the relevant time period, reference photos, and height data to construct maps. There will be maps featuring 4 square kilometers all the way up to 16 square kilometers. The aim is to create an environment that is visually authentic while also taking into account gameplay considerations by making necessary adjustments. It's worth noting that while the devs strive for accuracy, the inclusion of weapons and vehicles in a given location may not necessarily reflect the period of the battle being depicted in all cases. Burning Lands is played on large-scale maps of varying sizes, featuring a diverse selection of land, water, and air vehicles that allow players to traverse the battlefield with ease. The game mode's dynamic spawning systems and tactical resources used by teams ensure that no 2 rounds of Burning Lands Vietnam feel the same. Players can expect to feel excited and refreshed with each new round of gameplay. Players will have the opportunity to explore several notable locations including Khe Sanh, Dai Loc, Hue City, Ia Drang, Plain of Reeds, and Op Masher. Furthermore, the inclusion of additional factions will bring with it a host of new maps for players to experience. The initial release will feature the US Army and PAVN factions. As development progresses, additional factions such as the Australian Forces and the NLF, and if feasible the US Marines, may be added. The minimum goal is to accommodate 80 players, with the ideal target being 100. However, if feasible, expanding this limit to 120, and will feature several unique game modes, including Raid, Outpost, and Frontlines. Details on these modes have not been released. Some of the vehicles that players can expect to encounter include the Huey, Chinook, Cobra, ZIS-150, M48 tank, PT-76, M113, Gaz, BTR-152, Sampan, M151, M35, PBR, Type 59, and a variety of others. Among the weapons featured in the game are the M16, M230, M14, M21, 1911, AK-47 variants, Type 56, AKM, SVD, RPD, Mosin, N60, Claymore, C4, Model 77, M79, M72, TT33, RPG-2, SKS, Flamethrower, and many others. Zero Hour's development approach involves creating unique audio and visual effects for the game. Rather than reusing existing assets from other titles, they are building their own back-end system from the ground up, ensuring a truly original and authentic gaming experience. In terms of environmental destruction, the team is considering implementing a feature that would allow tanks and other heavy vehicles to drive through small fences and trees for added realism and improved gameplay experience. The proprietary system will include several notable features such as dismemberment mechanics, the ability to pilot boats and helicopters, sling loading and capturing some enemy assets, swimming capabilities, as well as support for joystick and track IR input devices. In regards to development, Burning Lands took the initiative to switch over from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5 in 2022, and while this did delay things for a bit, the end result will definitely be worth it. Unreal Engine 5 adds some very impressive and quite frankly game-changing new rendering features, allowing to greatly improve the visual fidelity of Burning Lands. Undoubtedly, the most important of these new features is Nanite, a new improved way of displaying insane amounts of geometric detail while still targeting real-time frame rates. Working in tangent with this new virtualized geometry is Unreal's new shadow system, Virtual Shadow Maps. Essentially, this means instead of being forced to use lower polygon meshes and normal textures to fake surface shadows, Virtual Shadow Maps can cast real shadows because of the 3D geometry actually existing thanks to Nanite. While the above features are definitely the headliners, it doesn't stop there. Temporal Super Resolution provides a quality in-house upsampling system to replace TAA. The list goes on, and all these new improvements and features will help make Burning Lands a next-gen visual experience in the tactical shooter genre. In addition to Unreal Engine 5's groundbreaking advancements in visual fidelity with Nanite and Lumen, it also brings with it new physics engine in the form of Chaos. Like many of UE5's newer systems, Chaos was born out of a need to support larger worlds, similar and well beyond the scale of those being built for Burning Lands. Chaos also makes up for the limitations and restrictive design decisions that came with the previous physics engine, PhysX, used in UE4. One of the limitations of PhysX which Chaos addresses is the introduction of an asynchronous physics scene. This means that the calculations performed to provide those awe-inspiring ragdoll corpses or the smooth ride through no man's land in an M35, among other things, are handled across multiple threads on the CPU. This allows for highly parallel computation and removes overhead from the main game thread, ultimately leading to massive improvements to the final frame time. Chaos is able to provide exceedingly more accurate and stable simulations for physics bodies, which results in a much more believable experience for the player. Chaos is also able to manage accurate and believable vehicle simulations to a level not seen before in Unreal Engine. With the far superior simulation stability afforded by Chaos, vehicles in Burning Land will feel tactile, weighty, and look and behave as the player would come to expect. This only adds to the immersion, ensuring understandable results from the vehicle simulation and behavior. UE5's audio system also brings with it some game-changing features over the old system. One of those features is metasounds, which replaces sound cues. The new system allows the creation of modular audio systems that are affected by gameplay. Metasounds are also sample accurate, which allows for higher fire rates for guns with procedural variation. This also allows for smoother transitions between sounds and will be less influenced by frame rate. Sound can also be synthesized within the engine, allowing for highly procedural audio. The new system comes with some performance enhancements as well. With the new system, each meta sound source will allow Burning Lands to have a vibrant and dynamic soundscape. Let's talk about some of the gameplay now. In most tactical shooters, you'll see squad spawns and team spawns. As their names suggest, squad spawns are for members of a certain squad to use, and team spawns are for the entire team to use. In Burning Lands, we will be calling these squad spawns a rally or rallies, and we'll be calling team spawns a depot or depots. To mention a few roles, let's talk about the radio mans first. They will help ease the pressure on the squad leader by providing support in a number of ways, including enhancing communication with the squad. They will also be responsible for call-ins and requesting fire missions, which then will lead to the squad leader approval, which then will go up to the commander for final approval or denial. The radio man ensures that the squad leader remains relatively safe and allows attention to be focused elsewhere within the squad, as all friendly units will only be displayed on the map to the remaining squad members if the radio man is within a certain radius of the squad leader. This radius is a fog of war bubble around each player, which limits the radius at which all teammates will be displayed on the map. If the squad leader and radio man are too far apart or one is dead, map visibility will slowly decrease from 100% down to personal fog of war visibility. All friendly icons will fade out and the only remaining icons will be friendly operated, non-vehicles, and your squad leader. The same thing will happen when leaving the main base, rallies, and depots, as they are important areas for map visibility. As all friendly icons will be displayed to players within a certain distance of these points, players and vehicles will also have all friendly units displayed on their map. Without the radio man, the squad most certainly will experience a lack of map visibility and difficulty communicating effectively with each other, which is especially important in large, complex battles where communication and coordination are essential for success. Next, we have the pack mule role, which is an important logistical asset for the OPFOR team. Their ability to carry and place backpacks that function like physical supply crates allow them to transport supplies on foot and provide a source of supplies for their team. However, there are some limitations to their abilities, such as being able to place limited supplies at a time and having to interact with a depot or supply crate while on the battlefield to resupply. The pack mule role provides the OPFOR team with an additional means of resupplying their infantry on the front line, which can be crucial for maintaining momentum in battles. Pack mules can use their backpacks to transport supplies directly to the front line, eliminating the need for troops to return to the main base or a distant depot to resupply. For example, if a particular area of the battlefield is experiencing heavy fighting, pack mules can be dispatched to deliver additional supplies. These supplies can include ammunition, grenades, or medical supplies to that area to rearm those in combat. This can help bolster the defense or offense in that location, increasing the chances of success in that particular engagement. Depending on how well the OPFOR logistics chain is set up, the pack mules could resupply their front line even faster than their helicopter flying opponents. If an enemy team manages to destroy the OPFOR's closest depots or supply crates, pack mules can still deliver supplies to the front line and keep their infantry fighting. One unique ability of the pack mule role is to steal supplies from enemy depots and crates from the Blue 4 team. This is an interesting dynamic for gameplay, as stealing critical logistics supplies from your opponent could change the nature of the frontline battle. Blue 4 players will need to do their best to protect their supply sources from enemy pack mules. Ultimately, the pack mule role can be a useful addition to the OPFOR team's arsenal and can provide a unique gameplay experience for both players and strategists alike. Next, let's talk about the medical system within Burning Lands, and it's something that doesn't encourage a run-and-gun gameplay style, but doesn't intend to heavily punish you for it either. Medics within the game will have a real purpose, and for those around them will learn to rely on them to better operate as a squad and a team. However important medics are, there will still be instant death for things like headshots and extreme damage received like an explosion, as the devs want to be both realistic and reward good marksmanship, and in turn should further encourage all players to be smarter about how they move around the battlefield. If you look at the image on the screen, you'll see the layout for how the trauma state will work in the game. As you can see, the medics become key, and another reason that teamwork and communication will be vital in Burning Lands. Medics will have to be smart about how and when they revive, ensure they have the correct cover to do so, and also to be able to finish the healing process. Burning Lands wants to stay away from a continuous cycle of reviving the same guy over and over, and just giving up and respawning again, penalizing the overall team effort. The medic role is one of the 3 sustainment roles on the battlefield. Each of these serve a critical task for their squad leader and the rest of the players in the unit. A medic will be armed and serve a combat purpose when their medical skills aren't required. However, a medic's primary job is to keep the rest of the squad alive, preventing their team from losing valuable tickets during combat. Although any player can use their bandage to address minor wounds, they will not fully be healed until a medic has treated them. Other effects of being wounded, such as blurred vision and lowered stamina, will be more noticeable depending on the severity of the wound. Major wounds that leave players downed and incapacitated can only be revived and fully healed by the medic. A medic will be equipped with a critical tool to heal other players and keep them in the fight, the IV kit. While all players, including the medic, will have their own bandages to stop bleeding and to stabilize, the IV kit will be the most important part of a medic's tool bag. Players who are in various wounded states will need treatment from the IV kit to be returned to full health. Burning Lands is in pre-alpha right now. Access will be privately available to those who financially back the game through Kickstarter, releasing later this year, and early access will be publicly available to purchase through Steam at a later time after that. The release of the game on consoles will depend on a variety of factors, including funding and public reception. At present, primary focus is on PC. If the project is well received and funding permits, expanding to console platforms in the future is a possibility. Burning Lands is still holding the cards pretty close to its chest when it comes to showing off anything gameplay related, but details and more videos should be coming soon. I'll leave a link to the official Burning Lands Discord in the comments below if you want to join the community there. I will continue to update you guys as information is released, and until then, stay frosty, and I'll see you on the battlefield.